What's good, family? I.O.B.A. I'm Te-Ce, and this is my awareness channel. So listen, I'm going to speak a little bit more about the REVOLT TV Summit that I looked at the other day. Now, mind you, I looked at probably 2/3 of it. I couldn't stand watching all of it because I knew where the shit was going. Now, I already said that the only one that made any sense was Killer Mike. Because Killer Mike been around. I know his platform. I know where he is on the issues. And his issue right now is getting Bernie Sanders elected. I understand that. He's been true to that. So I understand that. But Candice Owens, I don't know, motherfuckers seem to be trying to feel sorry for her or something. Because I heard somebody say the other day that Candice Owens said a lot of truth. Candice Owens. No, the fuck she didn't. No, she did not. All she did was recited a bunch of fucking right-wing talking point bullshit and rhetoric that been around since the 1990s. That's that shit Pat Buchanan used to say back in the 1990s. Why black men don't stay with their women. Quoting them kind of numbers. 73% of black women are single or some shit. That's a lie on so many different levels, but they keep putting that shit out there. And to me, anybody that would get out there and rep that kind of bullshit and married to a white guy or hooked up with a white guy is totally fucking disingenuous. I hate that fucking shit. And that is what, to me, Candice Owens is doing. Another one that's like that I really can't get my mind around is Simone Sanders, that chick that's working for Joe Biden. How the fuck could you even pretend to be real and genuine when you work for somebody like Joe Biden? This old fucking dumbass bigot from the 1970s. And right now, all he do when he get on in front of a camera is babble. And you working for that motherfucker, trying to get him in the goddamn White House so he can maintain the status quo. That's Simone Sanders. Candice Owens would like to be Simone Sanders, but she don't have the fucking education. She would like to be, some liaison between black people and some major candidate, but she don't have the fucking education. All she got right now is the goddamn look. And she know how to talk that shit. She sound like a white girl. She's a black girl who sound like a white girl with education. But she really don't have any of that. Because the shit she talking, they've been running that same motherfucking line of bullshit since back when Reagan was coming into the White House. If you know anything about the real history of what really went on during that time, before this bitch was born, you'll know why things are as they are for black people in this country. And why the United States is so full of shit when they run around the world preaching that capitalism is the only way to live. Is the only way anybody should be trying to live. And if you got any ideas other than that, there's something wrong with you. Well, that's bullshit. And Candice Owens know it's bullshit, but the people that's paying her get her out there so she can spout that shit. And dumb motherfuckers hear her talk and believe, honestly, that she know what she's talking about. But she has no idea. I've been, oh my God, I think I first heard of Candice Owens maybe 2.5 years ago. But she used to call herself a progressive and now she a conservative. No, that bitch going where the money at. Because when she was a progressive, she was probably over there talking that shit, and people knew she was A, phony, and B, didn't have any education. All she had going for her was that look. And the gift of gab, be able to talk fast and memorize these bullshit statistics that the white people give her. And everybody knows you can make statistics say whatever the fuck you want them to say, depending on what your agenda is. And that's what Candice Owens got memorized up in that fucking peanut head of hers. So anybody talking that shit about Candice Owens was right. Candice Owens, she not right. If you look at that shit from a goddamn right-wing Republican standpoint, I guess she is right. But realistically and how shit really is, she dead ass wrong. And it take an old nigga like me to tell her that shit because I was fucking there. When Ronald Reagan got elected, I was fucking there. I was hip to what's going on. I was politically fucking engaged, and I was there. Black people made a lot of fucking gains during the 70s and part of the 80s. Well, no, during the 60s and 70s. Because Ronald Reagan came along in 1980. But we made a lot of gains. A lot of the shit that's happening to us will come from the elimination of affirmative action programs. It sucked all the fucking jobs out and sent them overseas. The motherfucking quotas are gone. You feel me? All of that shit happened. And that shit happened to black people worse than anybody else. I mean, goddamn it, I could talk personally on that shit. Because I was fucking there and it was happening to me. And a lot of people I knew. The only fucking avenue you had was the motherfucking military. A lot of my goddamn contemporaries are retired military right now. Because that was the only thing left for them to do after the jobs went away. They all went in the fucking military. I did not. But to hear Candice Owens and people like her talk, it's just that niggas is motherfucking lazy and don't want to stay with their motherfucking women's and want everything given to them for free. That's the shit that motherfucking Republicans pay her to get out there and talk. And she be winning them sisters over sometime. I just seen her sit in a room full of young black women and talk that motherfucking shit about how glorious Donald Trump is, right? While they sit there and cheer and nobody challenge nothing she say. I seen her sit in a fucking room full of young black women and they be sucking that shit up just because she got the look. And that's all it is with Candice Owens. I need motherfuckers to stop thinking Candice Owens got 2 motherfucking brain cells to rub together. Because she does not. She just got a goddamn good memory and can talk that shit. And when I say talk that shit, she sound like a fucking news correspondent, political pundit who knows, history and all of the rest of it. Who knows journalism, all of it. No, she don't know any of that shit. No. Go watch the fucking Joe Rogan podcast with Candice Owens on it. She dumber than a fucking bag of jelly beans. I'm telling you. I'm just saying. That's all there is to her. Her and that Tommy Lauren chick. They just flavor of the fucking month. They're young, they're cute, and people like looking at them. And they can talk that shit. All you gotta have when you're a Republican. All the motherfucking Republicans I know is dumb, stupid, and greedy. Because capitalism is not the only way to run a fucking society. And that's all Republicans and most Democrats understand. And that's what they're trying to do. They got to keep everything. You got to make a fucking They got to keep everything. You got to make a goddamn dollar off of every blade of grass, every sip of clean water, every gulp of air, every mile you drive, every time you get sick. If you want to educate yourself, if you want to do anything in this fucking country, the Republicans and the Candice Owenses and all of these other motherfuckers think that you should make money off of it. If you should have to pay for it. Ain't nothing a motherfucking right. Everything is a privilege or a goddamn commodity. And that's the Republican thinking process. And that's where Candice Owens and people like her at. And I ain't got no fucking use for that. I don't think that, personally now, me, I don't think the fucking world should be run like that. I really don't think the world should be run like that. The only person on the ticket for the Democrats, enough about Candice Owens now, for now, but the only person on the goddamn ticket, on the progressive ticket, that I already said that I can half-ass get behind is a Sanders campaign. Because the motherfucker damn near 80 years old. Not that to me is a plus. It is a plus. Now I got some issues with Bernie Sanders, serious ones, but the only person really talking like they want to change the status quo and ain't lying about it like Donald Trump was is Bernie Sanders. Joe Biden motherfucking brain dead and everybody knows it, but they want to run that motherfucker anyway. They want to run him because he is easily controlled and ain't nothing going to change. Nobody's coming home from any wars. We're still going to go into fucking big war with Iran. The military-industrial complex going to keep going and ain't shit going to change. He even said it out of his mouth. That's why the Democrats want to run Joe Biden against Donald Trump. But here's the thing. Donald Trump will probably beat Joe Biden. So nobody wants to really change a fucking thing if you can't get behind the only guy out there that's really trying to change something, the old guy. And that's where I'm leaning towards right now as far as a presidential candidate goes. So what problem I got with the motherfucker? I got the problem with the reparations. I really think black people are owed reparations for slavery. Adolf's people are owed reparations for slavery, and I think that we should keep the pressure on. But ain't nobody gonna give it to us this go around anyway. But that don't mean it shouldn't be in the motherfucking it shouldn't be being talked about. I got a problem with the United States supporting Israel the way we do and having a Jewish president. I got a problem with the way the United States support Israel the way we do and having a Jewish president. I got a little bit of an issue with that. I get a little ting. Those are the two main issues I got with Joe Biden, with Bernie Sanders. He said no to reparations for slavery, and I got a problem with our support for Israel the way we do and having a Jewish president. Those are my problems with that. But little shit like that summit, that's them trying to take the narrative, trying to steal the fucking narrative away from what the real black media is talking about. That's why they didn't have any real motherfucking intellectuals on that panel. They had fucking entertainers and candy stripers. That's all the fuck they had. So that motherfucking summit, REVOLT Summit, it never really happened. It was a fucking dud. It was bullshit from start to fucking finish. Bunch of niggas up there hollering and cussing. One guy making sense. Everybody else all over the fucking place. And nobody talking about nothing real that Antonio Moore or Tariq Nasheed or Yvette Carnell would be talking about. Or Dr. Claude Anderson would be talking about. So it was a fucking sham. And that's all I'm going to talk about. Y'all keep your head up. Peace out. See y'all on the next one. Done.